It was just a joke. That's what I told myself. A dumb, buzzed punchline at a friend's game night. One of those one-liners you toss out to get a cheap laugh and move on. Only this one didn't move on. It landed like a grenade. We were playing Cards Against Humanity. Half the group was drunk. Everyone was laughing, roasting each other, talking trash. So when the card combo landed, what's better than surprise anal? Apparently my ex. Everyone cracked up, except one person, my wife. She didn't laugh, didn't smile, didn't even look at me. She just sipped her wine, stacked her cards, and stayed quiet. And I should have let it die there. But I didn't. I leaned over, tried to smooth it over. Hey, it was just a combo. Random luck. She gave me a tight smile. Sure, just luck. We finished the game. She barely spoke again that night. Didn't say goodbye to anyone. Didn't touch me once. At home, she didn't say a word. Went straight to bed. No brushing her teeth. No goodnight kiss. Just jeans off, lights out, back turned. That's when it hit me. I didn't just make a dumb joke. I hurt her. And I had no idea how deep it went. I'm Adam. 35, married to Lila for 5 years. Before her, there was Jordan. Jordan was fire, fast, wild, exhausting. We burned hard and crashed harder. But Lila? Lila was calm, warm. She made life feel less like a sprint and more like home. We weren't flashy, but we were steady. At least, I thought we were. Next morning, she was already up, scrolling on her phone. Didn't look at me. I said, "Hey, about last night?" "It's fine," she cut in, still scrolling. But her tone was anything but fine. You know when someone says, "I'm fine," and it sounds like a fire alarm covered in silk? Yeah, that. I tried again. Seriously, it wasn't about you. It was just a joke. She looked up then, not with anger, with precision. You made me the punchline. You brought your ex into the room with me, in front of everyone. And I couldn't deny it, because she was right. I opened a window to the past and let it blow through our present. She said, "You don't joke about someone being better unless some part of you believes it." That shut me up, because I didn't believe it. But I didn't know how to make her believe that. For days, things stayed cold. No affection, no inside jokes, no warmth, just two people sharing space. Apologizing didn't fix it. Notes didn't fix it. Breakfast in bed didn't fix it. She smiled. She said thanks. But she stayed locked up. We went to therapy that week. Our therapist, Karen, always started with a check-in. Lila jumped in first. He made a joke comparing me to his ex. About sex. He didn't flinch, just smiled, like it meant nothing. Karen turned to me, "What made that joke seem funny at the time?" I explained the game, the randomness, the context, but it all sounded hollow. Then Karen turned to Lila. "How did that land with you?" Lila didn't even blink. Like I wasn't enough. There it was, the center of the wound. I didn't just make her feel small, I made her feel replaceable. I spent that night on the couch, not because she asked, because I couldn't sleep next to someone I hurt like that. Not without fixing it. And for the first time since we got married, I wasn't sure I could. The couch became a pattern. At first I stayed there on my own. By the third night, it felt understood. She didn't say I couldn't come back to bed, but she didn't invite me either. And that kind of silence cuts deeper than yelling ever could. In the mornings, I'd wake to the sound of the shower. She'd leave early. No goodbye. I'd make coffee for two and end up drinking both cups. Every time I tried to bring it up, she'd shut it down. It's fine. But it wasn't. Not when your partner avoids your eyes like your face is a bruise they don't want to press. Friday night, I brought home her favorite Thai. Got the extra peanut sauce she always asks for. She ate 3 bites, said she wasn't hungry. Spent the rest of the evening scrolling through her phone while I sat there chewing pad Thai like it might fix what I'd broken. That night, I laid on the couch with a blanket that smelled like no one. And I kept replaying that game night moment in my head. The card, the punchline, the way her face went still. And I thought, this isn't just about a joke. Then I remembered something from months ago. We were at a friend's place talking about past breakups. I'd said Jordan, my ex, was hot but unstable. Just one of those stupid generalizations guys make to sound cool and detached. Lila hadn't reacted then. But maybe she remembered. Maybe every comment like that was a tiny crack. Until one finally split the wall wide open. Saturday night, I asked her, "Is this really about the joke? Or about Jordan?" She gave me a look that made me feel 10 years shorter. "It's about what the joke revealed." I waited. "You don't talk about me like that. You never hype me up. Never look at me like I'm bold." She swallowed hard, but your ex? One punchline and suddenly she's this legend. I didn't have a response because it wasn't just the joke. It was the shadow behind it. And the fact that I let it linger in our house like perfume from a stranger. Sunday was quiet again. She made lunch for herself. Didn't ask if I wanted any. I watched football on mute and ate dry cereal. By Monday night, I was writing. Not a text, a letter, old school, ink on paper. I wrote, "You're not boring. You're what peace feels like. You're not soft. You're strong in ways I don't always know how to hold. You're not in competition with anyone. There is no race. You're the finish line." I left it on her pillow. Next morning, it was gone. No note in return, no kiss. But that night, she asked if I wanted to come back to bed. I did. We didn't touch, but at least we breathed in the same rhythm again. That felt like a turning point. Until the tag. The couch wasn't just a place I slept. It became the scoreboard. I was changing the sheets. Every night I spent there felt like one more point against me. A preview lit up. Jordan liked your photo, but something shifted. My stomach flipped. Not in me, checked the post. Her. She wasn't cold anymore. Throwback of us from polite, Asheville. Present, cute, smiling even. Caption about finding warmth in the cold. Like she'd built a new version of herself without me, and now I was just at Jordan X1998. I opened her story. Then came the text. She'd posted a poll. Midday, random. Ever wonder if your partner's ex is better than you? Just us. No emojis, no punctuation. Yes, no, probably. Just a sentence that felt like a loaded weapon. My heart sank. When I got home, the table was down. Sat on the edge of the bed. Wine, her favorite pasta. Because now it wasn't just me dragging the past into the present. Incredible. Calm, centered. She was doing already made a decision I hadn't been invited into. That night, I asked, and for the first 20 minutes, it felt normal. She dried her hair, no hesitation. Then she said it. Because she still follows me, I figured she'd want to see what she lost. My fork stopped halfway to my mouth. I blinked. What? You said I was bringing her into our marriage. After I tagged her. Baiting her? Thought it was shade. Maybe I just wanted to feel like the star of the show for once. I set the fork down. I slept on the couch. You had a conversation with my ex, but this time I didn't leave a note like it was casual. And when she left the next morning, I didn't say goodbye either. She didn't trash you. I didn't know whether to be grateful or horrified. What did you talk about? Sex? Relationships? You? Why? She looked me dead in the eye. Because I needed to understand what I'm being compared to. There it was. She'd reached out to Jordan, on purpose, to understand the woman I made a punchline out of, to figure out what it was about her that still echoed in our house. And what did you learn? She sipped her wine. She said you were exciting, passionate, but emotionally selfish. Pause. She said sex was great, but communication sucked. I didn't respond. Because deep down, it wasn't even an insult. It was just accurate. After dinner, she cleared the plates like we hadn't just dragged my past relationship across our marriage like broken glass. I sat there, still, stunned, trying to figure out what hurt more, the fact that she'd spoken to my ex or that it made her stronger. Later that night, I asked again, why did you really reach out to her? She took a breath. Because I needed to know if the version of you I'm holding on to is real. That line stayed with me, long after she fell asleep, long after I gave up trying to. The next day, I did something I hadn't done in a while. I scrolled through our texts, mine and Lila's, just to see. And what I saw hit harder than I expected. There was no flirting, no romance, just reminders, grocery lists, appointment times, like we were project managers running a household. Efficient, but empty. Somewhere along the way, we stopped tending to the love. Just the logistics. And then, a punchline brought it all crashing down. That Friday, I came home early, sat on the same couch I'd been sleeping on, and opened my notes app. Title? Ways I made her feel small. I made a list. Every jab, every moment I dismissed her, every time I failed to show up emotionally. Not to weaponize it, to face it. That night, I asked her to sit down, read it out loud. No justifications, no backpedaling, just truth. And when I finished, I said, I don't want to be someone you have to recover from. She looked at me, eyes tired but clear. I think I already am. The next few days were quiet. Not awkward, not tense, just final feeling. Then Monday came. She walked in holding a small cardboard box, set it on the coffee table. I need space. Not forever, but I need it. No tears, no drama, just clarity. Like she'd finally found her answer, and I was too late to be part of it. She didn't pack much. Just a small bag, a few changes of clothes, her laptop, toothbrush. She didn't cry, didn't say she'd call, she just said, I'll be at my sister's, you can keep the apartment. Then she closed the door behind her. No slam, no pause. Just gone. I stood in the kitchen staring at her coffee mug, still warm, still hers. But she wasn't. I told people she was spending time with family. Technically true, but it was easier than saying, I turned my wife into a punchline and she left because she realized she deserved better. Nights were brutal. The bed was too big, the air too quiet, the apartment too still, even the shadows felt lonelier. I thought back to that night, the game, the joke, how something meant to get a laugh ended up breaking the best thing I had. Because it wasn't about the ex, it was about the dismissal, the ease with which I minimized her. And the worst part? I've been doing it for a while, I just finally said it out loud. We texted a few times over the next couple weeks. Nothing meaningful, just adult things, utilities, mail, a wedding invite we were both trying to avoid. Then one night she texted, still thinking about the list, thank you for reading it. I stared at it for 10 minutes, then closed my phone, didn't know what to say, didn't want to say the wrong thing again. A few days later, I saw Jordan at a bookstore. She looked the same, confident, sharp. We made eye contact. She nodded. She's strong, your wife. Yeah? You lost a good one. Then she walked off. Didn't say anything else. Didn't need to. That night, I wrote another letter. Didn't send it, just wrote it. You weren't competing with anyone. There was never a contest. But I made you feel like there was. I used humor like a shield, but shields can hit just as hard. I miss the sound you made when you laughed. I miss your toothbrush next to mine. I miss being the person who got to hold you without apology. I folded it, put it in the drawer, let it sit like a confession I didn't deserve to deliver. Then, out of nowhere, she texted, Want to talk? I answered instantly. Yes, we met at a park. Middle of the week, middle of the afternoon. She sat across from me like someone I used to know. Familiar, but changed. Her eyes were clear, like she'd finally exhaled everything she'd been holding in. I'm not ready to come back, she said, but I'm not ready to let go either. Pause. I need time, not an ending, just time. I nodded, didn't argue, didn't plead, didn't crack a joke. Because I finally understood. Some moments need to be felt, not fixed. We sat there for a while, not as husband and wife, not as strangers, as something in between, and maybe that's what healing looks like. Not a perfect fix, just a little less broken than before. I don't know what happens next. Maybe we rebuild, maybe we don't. But either way, I carry the lesson. Words land, even jokes leave bruises, especially the ones aimed at the person you love the most.